UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Infinite diversity.
Live long and prosper, and welcome to Infinite Diversity, a Star Trek Universe podcast here on the United Federation of Podcast Network. I'm your long-lost host for today, Brandon Shamutella, and joining me are my co-hosts, Justin and Chrissie. Chrissie, how are you doing today?
I am doing quite well.
Okay, excellent. Do you or do you not want to grab this crystal?
Ah, yes. The fate of the universe depends on it. I can deal. If it's just for fun, then I don't need to know.
Okay. Well, we'll figure that out in a little bit. But before we do that, we will talk to our friend Justin, see how Justin's doing today. Justin, how are you doing? What is going on with your eyes? What are those red lights in your eyes?
Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. But Brandon...
Okay,
for our listeners, they haven't heard from you in 5 weeks. We haven't heard from you in 6 weeks because of the way we record episodes. It's great to have you back. I'm sorry your schedule was kind of crazy that we couldn't have you for a while, but I expect you now to comment on every episode that we've done in the last 5 weeks now. But it's really, really great to have you back. I'm glad we can have
they've
you
been
here.
good. You've done really good.
Okay.
You've done really good.
Perfect.
That's great. But no, it really is good to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about imposter syndrome. It's like I don't even belong anymore. So,
It wasn't our choice that you not be here.
Yeah, really.
No, yeah, it's been really crazy with my work and whatnot, and we've had a lot of layoffs, but I'm in a union job, so the way that a union job works is I'm high enough on the seniority list that somebody up above me actually lost their position, which caused bumping. So, like, when you're higher up, you still have the authority to bump somebody out of a position. As long as you hold the education required for the job, you can bump them out of a job. So this happened once before, but this time it was like somebody bumped somebody else, and so they had to get trained, and then that person bumped me, and I had to train them, and then I had to bump somebody else, and then he had to bump somebody else, and then somebody else got unemployed out of that. So
that just sounds exhausting. But, I've never had a job where that was even possible, so I can't even imagine. Yeah.
That's a union thing in our contract, and I mean it's nice for somebody like me. You know, it's fortunate because I've been there for I've been with Everaz for 9 years now, and so I've been there for a while, so my job is basically secure, and I've got enough education that I can. It's going to be a while before they get to me because there's people who are below me, but there's people that are even lower that are still in jobs because they've got education that the people above them don't have, so they get to stay, right? So it's interesting, but I mean it's one of the good things about being in a union, So.
Okay, but it makes Starfleet regulation sound simple.
Yes, union regulation subsection 12 bumping rules. So.
Wow, but yes, great to have you here.
But yeah, I'm here now, and I got to read the books that you guys covered.
Yay!
And they were both very good. I'm bad with titles. What was the one that L. Bennett did in
Living Memory?
Christopher L. Bennett did.
Living Memory?
Living Memory. That might be like a top 5 Star Trek novel for me. I just loved that
awesome.
book. I loved the Uhura story and how he basically completely reinvented that character. Mm-hmm. In that novel, and it was all fascinating, and I really truly loved it. And this whole idea of these warrior species that were created, and if you cross the line once, how easy is it going to be to cross it again? There was just a lot of really interesting ideas put forward in that book, and I've always loved Christopher L. Bennett's work, but this one was just really, really wonderful, and the care that he took to build a story around the Nomad episode from the original series, The Changeling. Like, the care that he took to come up with this idea was just amazing, And I love reading his afterwards, like when he talks about like where he pulls little things from.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he's like, oh, they've only ever touched on this in like a comic book and a short story, and it's consistent with them, although they're inconsistent with each other, and like all this, like he just takes the care.
He really thinks about it a lot.
Try and make it work. Yeah, and that's what I love about him as an author.
Oh yeah,
you know, he's just got to be on this show. Every time I start bitching and complaining about how something doesn't work in the Star Trek universe, because he would have an answer.
He would, yeah,
like just like that.
Well, you know, we've got to get him on the show. As far as I know, he has never been on a podcast, as far as I know. But he is on Twitter now, which you pointed me to, Brandon. So maybe next time he has a novel or something, we'll reach out to him and try to get him on the show, because that would be great.
That sounds like a challenge we can meet.
Yeah, everybody has their price.
No, we do not pay people to be on this
show.
Yeah,
we don't have
cookies. I'm talking about cookies or like muffins or something like that.
Sure.
That sounds great.
But anyway, I'm so glad you like those novels, and we have so many more novels coming this year. It's really cool. No.
Not fast enough, though. I want Coda.
Yeah, I want Coda. I want Coda, and I want the autobiography of Mr. Spock, because I love those autobiography books. So
2 in 1 month. We're getting the Spock one and Coda book one in the same month, which is cool.
Should we have both David Goodman and Una McCormick on when we cover that book?
No, just Una would be fine.
Without knowing what the backstory is.
I don't know what the story is. And when we talked with Una about it, she was like, yeah, there was this thing that was already going on, and they just gave it to me, and I just kind of ran with it from scratch. Is kind of what she said. So...
Okay, however, like I interviewed David Goodman for Warp 5 when I was over on Trek FM, right? And I told him afterwards, I said, look, I'm sure you've thought of this joke already, but if you haven't, I freely give this to you, right? And I told him this joke. He's like, yes, I already thought of it and put of it. So I truly hope that this joke was kept in the novel in some form. And that joke was in both the Kirk and the Picard novels, they make reference to, like, if I remember correctly, like an Archer University, and like one of them, I think in the Kirk one, he's like, this is with Jonathan Archer, and in the Picard one, he's like, most people think it's for Jonathan Archer, but it's really for this thing. And then I'm like, Spock needs to have one where he's like, well, people think this and this, but it's actually for this. And I told him he needs to have something, I can't remember exactly what it was, because it's been 4 years since I read those books, but he's like, yes, I have a joke for that. So I just hope there's some kind of reference to the Archer University and a footnote as to what it really is referring to.
If there is, I'll send you a message about it right away when I read it.
Yes. So I just hope that's in there somewhere.
All right.
So, anywho. Excellent. Right on. Well, we're not talking about books today. We're talking about Star Trek Discovery Season 2. And we're going to be going over our favorite characters. But before we do that, we'd like to take a moment to thank our patrons who make our show possible, and particularly our associate producer, Justin Oser.
I'm not sure who that is.
We like him.
Is that me?
Oh, nice guy. Yeah, nice guy. Oh, that's you. Okay. Thank you, Justin. So... Listeners, we'd love to add your name to this list, and we can do that with your monthly patron subscription of just $10 by going to patreon.com/UFPEarth.
And this is how much, hold on, this is how much I care about supporting this network. I knew you were going to make a joke like that, but I did the contribution anyway.
Well, I know Chrissy hasn't been making that joke. Chrissy takes things a little more seriously than I do.
Well, I just said, I introduced him as the Patreon supporter, AP, so
that's okay.
It works.
Yes.
It works.
But sorry, go on.
For our news, I got to tell you, I'm stoked for this one, guys. So the director's edition of the motion picture is being remastered for 4K. Like squeal, squeal, scream, scream, giggle, giggle. I'm so stoked for this one here. Now they're also releasing all 4 movies, the first 4 movies. Which is such a nonsense bog. Like, what are they thinking?
I have a little I have a little background on that. So I think the thinking is So I think the thinking is that they are going to remaster the rest of them for 4K. But I think the idea was if you had it as like 6 movies or 10 movies, it might be too expensive, and they're just going to kind of break it up that way. And it'll also allow them to. I think release the first 4 now and then release more later, because it sounds like the first 4 are ready and there's still work to be done on the other one. So that's what it seems like. But
these are Star Trek fans. The only thing Star Trek fans complain about is paying for Paramount Plus. Other than that, they throw their money at anything. Yes. Okay?
Hey, I'm just telling you what it seems like the reasoning is. I didn't make up that reasoning or make the decisions, okay?
What was it? Trek Core is like, oh, they might be doing this for 3 box sets, and I wonder if they could find like a natural spot to divide this, like 1 to 4 and 6 to 7. And I'm like, yes, there is a natural divide that they could divide this into 2 box sets. It's not complicated. They've been doing it for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
I just don't know
so
how expensive the kind of 4K discs are. So I just don't even have a player for it.
Those Blu-ray box sets for 1 season, when I bought them on DVD, were 120 Canadian a season. It's going to be, it'll be less than that for all 6, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
But that was a long time ago.
Blu-ray wasn't that long.
Yeah, and Blu-ray was less. Like, I know that, when the $79.99, I think, was the first season of Blu-ray, that was like half the price of the first season.
Regardless, this is how they're doing it. Will you buy it as the first 4?
No, I absolutely will not. And you know what? I'm probably also not going to buy the box sets. I think the only thing that I will buy, if they release it, so I'll buy the director's cut in 4K because they don't have that in high definition. But I really, truly, truly, truly hope that they release a solo edition of the motion picture that has all the cuts of the movie, like the theatrical cut, the TV cut, the director's edition, like a box set that has everything finally together in one set. I really hope they do that.
Well,
that would be cool.
But I think the other thing is for the director's edition one of the motion picture, I think they're releasing it as a physical set, but also on Paramount Plus, right? I think that's what I saw.
So it's starting out on Paramount Plus for a little while as an exclusive there, and then it'll eventually come out to...
I'm even just excited to see that on Paramount Plus because I have the DVD of the director's edition. I think it is my favorite version of the film, but seeing it on that DVD in like standard definition, it doesn't... it could look so much better. So I'm just glad that they're doing this remastering so it can look as good as it should. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yes, and then they can get to DS9 and Voyager.
That is a lot more expensive. We'll
Anytime now, people. Anytime.
I still think the only way they're going to do that is if they crowdfund that season by season.
Yeah, because like if you're talking about a movie, that's a couple hours. If you're talking about 7 seasons, that's like 150 plus hours. No,
I get it. It's just they're leaving money on the table by not doing it. So.
Well, maybe. I mean, plus for DS9 and Voyager, they'd have to recreate a lot of the effects, and it is really an expensive process, and I think they're not sure if they'd make the money back. But anyway, that's a separate thing. This is about new releases that are actually coming out.
Quit being an apologist for Paramount. I mean, really. You're explaining why the box sets are weird. You have reasons why they can't remaster things.
I'm just giving reasons. I'm the messenger for reasons.
It's okay. Usually I'm the one doing that, so but still,
at the same time, I think it's cool that they're doing this because it is somewhat of an investment in resources to do that, so that's cool. Yeah.
This is really, really small, but it bothers me. The cover art for the box set with 4, okay? It's got Kirk and Spock in the motion picture uniforms and McCoy in the Monster Maroons.
It's mix and match.
Why? Still all Monster Maroons. I get that they didn't want to put Disco Bones on there. Understood. But why?
And that's for the box set?
That's for the box set of the 4.
For the 4,
it has them in different uniforms. Yeah.
I think it should have been George and Gracie in a suit each.
Plus some whales from Cetacean.
A dry suit instead of a wet suit so they can be on land.
Like
yeah.
Wow.
Now, speaking of the whales, George and Gracie, we'll just transfer
Good
on to
segue.
Yeah. So The Voyage Home is coming back to theaters for a special Fathom event on Thursday the 19th of August and Sunday the 22nd of August. And this is going to be playing the 4K new version of the film. So, Justin, you're going to go to that, right?
You know what? I don't think I will, actually.
What?
And I mean, I think the reason is...
Sorry, this is breaking up. The feed is breaking up here. I didn't understand you there. So... What?
I don't go to everything and do everything. Okay, so let me explain. Even before the pandemic, I didn't actually go to the movies that often. It would maybe be once or twice a year, maybe. I don't know. It's just something over the years. It had to be something I really wanted to kind of go and see. And I have been to a couple of these Fathom events, none of them Star Trek related so far, but I don't know. I still kind of, and I know for these Fathom events, sometimes it's like there's one or two people in the theater or whatever, but I still am a little uncertain about going to a movie theater at this point, so I will likely pass on that. It is also the week of my wife's birthday. I'm taking the week off of work, and we're probably going to be doing some stuff, so sorry. I mean, as much as I'd like to say yes, the honest answer is I probably won't.
Yeah.
But what about
Chrissie,
you guys?
Are you going to go?
I will be going if they decide to put it in a theater closer to me. Right now, the closest theater that is going to have it is about an hour and a half away, which I'm willing, but it's a little annoying because I'm in that part of Michigan that they're like, oh, you're close enough to Detroit that if there's anything cultural going on, you can just drive there. But, and it's not far enough away that they're like, oh, well, we better put it in a theater over here because they don't want to drive to Detroit.
Meanwhile, Chrissie, it's going to be at a theater 15 minutes from me.
No, yeah, I figured that because you're in a major city.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm in the part of Michigan that the indigenous peoples refused to live in the summer because the mosquitoes were so bad. So what does that tell you?
But Brandon, they do these in Canada as well, right?
I know they don't.
No?
Like we do have some old movies that come to the theaters, but I don't think it's any special event. Like we didn't get the motion picture for the 50th there when everybody else got it, so I didn't get to see that.
Okay, so this is a U.S. only
but
thing.
But honestly, it might be. No, they may have had it in Canada. I'm not sure. I just know they didn't have it in Regina. But honestly, Star Trek 4 I probably wouldn't go to see either. Because I mean I like Star Trek 4 just fine, but honestly, man, it's the movie that I've seen the most, and like it was the only one I had on VHS for like my entire teenage years. So I've seen this movie like 1,000 times.
What kind of Star Trek fans are we? It sounds like none of us might go to this thing.
You guys are listening to the final episode of Infinite Diversity as we all quit because we realize that we're not
real Star Trek fans. But anyway, I know other people that are really excited about it. I love the movie. I think it's great. But yeah, I'm sure if you're going, let us know because it would be cool to see. But apparently none of us might be going. Okay, for different reasons.
I'm mildly annoyed that it's not around here because the first one of these that I actually remember going to is Final Frontier. And I've seen Wrath of Khan in the theater. I've seen Search for Spock in the theater for like the re-release kind of things. I did not get to see motion picture for the anniversary because again, it wasn't anywhere near me. So it's like, come on, I wanted to see it in the theater.
Now that I think about it, I have only ever seen Star Trek movies at the time of release. I saw Star Trek 6 when it was released, and I saw, because there's this big gap in my fandom, I saw 2009 and Beyond and Into Darkness. So those are the 4 that I've seen in theaters, and they were all at the time of release. I've never seen it for one of these reissues or whatever. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
We have all right, we have a science center downtown, and they had a theater. They had a theater in their science center there, and they used to show movies on Fridays and Saturday nights, and one weekend they showed Star Trek 2 and 3, and what they would do is on Friday they would show whatever movie it was. They'd play one movie first and the other movie second, and the next night they'd play the second movie first and the first movie second. And so the way that they started, this was when I was in high school, and so I didn't have a car, so I couldn't see both movies in one night because there was no bus after the second one to get home. So I went and saw Star Trek 2 and 3 on 2 successive nights because they played the first night 2 and 3 and then 3 and 2 the next night, right? But it was weird. It was projected and it looked like film. I'm pretty sure it was film, but it was 4:3, so I'm like not quite sure what this. It was really weird. So I saw 2 and 3.
TV edit, maybe?
I don't know what it was, but it was a long time ago. Okay. It was like 1997, I guess it was, that I saw it here. Okay. So I saw 2 and 3 in that theater, like it was a really bad theater, and then I saw Generations and all the rest in theaters, and that's all that I've seen in theaters. So yeah, I haven't seen 1, 5, or 6. I haven't seen in theaters. But even if I wouldn't go, like, it's probably not going to be here. They're probably not going to play The Voyage Home here.
Yeah, I was just checking. I think it is. It might really be just a U.S. only thing, which is a shame.
I wouldn't be surprised at that.
The only one of the special movies, the old movies that I actually made an effort to go see in the theater was The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and that's because they actually projected it in 3D. And I'm like, I'd never seen it in 3D, so I'm like, I am absolutely going to see this movie in 3D. So
cool.
I took Aubrey to see that, and it was fun. So
very cool.
Okay, this has been our movie reminiscences.
Wow, yeah.
Yes, we got a lot out of that. So. Okay, so more news here. Okay, Raffi novel, Second Self by Una McCormick, coming in April of 2020.
22.
Yeah, April 2022. Yes. That'll be good. Una McCormick, they're just flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
So I'm very disappointed in your guys' interview to find out that she's not writing the autobiography of Jonathan Archer.
Yeah, she seems she seems to pretty much not like Enterprise that much, which is, she has reasons.
I mean, but that's not going to stop you from doing a paid writing gig, right? So.
Maybe,
I think she's got enough clout for options.
I don't know. I think it seems unlikely at this point. She's like, you know what, Archer autobiography, no, but but bring me some more Spock and Raffi and stuff.
Yeah,
and burn
and
him.
that doesn't mean that somebody else won't.
Yeah.
But I tweeted out, like, she was doing all of her Enterprise things and tweeting out, and I'm like, hey, all I'm saying is the last time she did a series rewatch, we got the autobiography of Captain Janeway. So,
that's true. But Brenda, can we read the description? Because I think it's kind of interesting what this book's going to be about.
Okay, so here's the official description from the publisher. Following the explosive events seen in Season 1 of Star Trek Picard, Raffi Musiker finds herself torn between returning to her old life as a Starfleet intelligence officer or something a little more tame. Teaching at the academy, perhaps. Dun dun dun. Kindergarten cop. The decision is made for her, though, when a message from an old contact, a Romulan spy, is received, asking for immediate aid. With the help of Cristobal Rios and Dr. Agnes Girardi and assistance from Jean-Luc Picard, Raffi decides to take on this critical mission and quickly learns that past sins never stay buried. Finding the truth will be complicated and deadly.
I love that's like your movie trailer voice. That's great.
Perfect.
That's wonderful. But
I do accept paid work for movie trailers.
But I think what's really cool about this one is it's after Season 1, so that would, seem to mean that Picard Season 2 is going to be maybe right around April or a little before. So
that would make sense.
Which would make sense if this date holds. But I think it's cool it's focusing on Raffi. I think a character we all love, and just thinking maybe of teaching at the academy or doing something in Starfleet, which I think is a little unexpected, but we'll see maybe why. But I'm excited about it being after Season 1.
And Agnes Girardi's not in jail for murdering Bruce Maddox, but that's fine.
I mean, I thought they had already kind of decided at the end of the season.
Well, I knew that, but it's just...
But yeah, I know.
You can decide to not go turn yourself in. That doesn't mean they won't find you.
So while we're talking about this here, though, I do want to talk about something, because I didn't get a chance to talk with you guys about it, with the trailer for Picard.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
All these people talking about, 7 and 9 wearing that ring, and they're all like, oh, it's Chakotay, it's Chakotay. It's like, did you not see the first season of the show? In the last 10 seconds of the season... They were holding hands, Raffi and her, which is all the relationship building that Star Trek needs to establish a complete and total marriage with them, because they've done it in the past.
But I think Raffi is a possibility, but it depends on if she's in a different timeline.
You're misunderstanding my joke. You did misunderstand.
I'm not misunderstanding your joke. I'm choosing not to acknowledge your joke, actually.
No, you are absolutely misunderstanding the joke, because the joke is building on Worf and Troy, right? Because they had like one brief line in one episode, and therefore they had a relationship. And Chakotay and Seven had like a holodeck adventure, which means that they're now a couple. So like that's all Star Trek needs to build on them being a couple. It's just like one. For the record, again, I love both of those couples, so which doesn't make me popular, probably, but anyways. But it's going to be Raffi that she's married to. If this is an alternate timeline, it's going to be Raffi.
We'll see. But what? But what
if it's an alternate timeline where she was never captured by the Borg, then it could literally be anyone.
possibly.
It's still going to be Raffi.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
But just in general, since this is the first time we're talking about it with you, what did you think of the trailer for Picard?
Oh, yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing this because this looks like a significant departure from the Star Trek we've seen so far from the new era. And so I am very excited for this.
In what way do you see it as a departure?
It looks like a return to some old school type of storytelling with time travel and stuff like that. So I don't quite know exactly what it's going to be, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. Cool. So 7, to me, clearly I got the impression that she realized something was out of place when she woke up.
Yeah.
Okay, so she wasn't just living her life normally. That she realizes. So I'm stoked that maybe 7 of 9 is going to be a main character for the season.
That would be cool.
That is very exciting. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing where this is going to go. So, I mean, there's so much great stuff coming on the horizon. Like, you know, I'm very much looking forward to the next little bit of our Star Trek coverage. So,
awesome.
Okay, so the Prodigy and Lower Decks panels are coming out of Comic-Con on the 23rd. And if you guys decide to record that day, I'm not going to be able to join you because that's the day before we leave on my vacation. So I've got to get ready for my vacation.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I know.
I missed the one a couple years ago too. I don't know, like this summertime, it's bad that this news comes out in the summer for me because I'm always so busy. But yeah, so there's going to be a virtual Comic-Con and there's going to be a couple of panels coming out. Prodigy right now is the Star Trek series I'm most looking forward to after we got those images. I'm like super stoked for Prodigy right now. Like I really like the Bad Batch and Clone Wars, and so if it's along that line of storytelling, then I am very, very excited for Prodigy. So yeah,
that's great. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll find out more. I hope we get some kind of trailer for Prodigy. That would be cool, since from everything we know, it seems like it's coming not long after Lower Decks, so a trailer would be good. But
if we don't have dates at the end of that Comic-Con panel for at least Prodigy's release,
I would think I would think so. I would think so, because if they're picking out Lower Decks and Prodigy, that should mean these are the next two things coming, right? And
we know Lower Decks is. So.
But anyway, yeah, I'm very excited for Prodigy too. It's just beautiful animation. The characters look interesting, and what we know of the premise seems interesting. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah, sorry we won't be able to record with you about whatever news comes out then, but yeah.
This is, and so listeners, we record 2 episodes back to back. So I'm doing 2 today with you guys, and then this will probably be my last until the first episode of
Lower Decks,
Lower Decks. I might be able to squeeze something in on the 8th of August there. But so there might be one more in there, but other than that, it'll be when we jump into our Lower Decks coverage. Now, you don't have it here, and it's not really news, but Anson Mount did tweet out that they've started or finished episode 10, and he says that you guys should be very excited for it. But he also tweeted out an image from Operation Annihilate, which
did he really
intrigued me.
I missed that.
He did. Yeah, so it got like a bunch of fans, those fanboys all in a knot and whatnot, and it started all that nonsense that I tend to mute and block on Twitter. But
could just be playing
because he
with
mocked
us.
somebody who said, I don't know. Anyway, I'll see if I can find the tweet here. We'll talk. Here we go. So he says, "Okay, this one's a little tougher. Name the episode." For which they are clearly utilized the parking lot at Culver Studios, and tell me if I'm wrong. And he tagged William Shatner. And it's an episode from Operation Annihilate. So I'm really intrigued by that. So, because that's an interesting episode of season 1 of the original series.
Well, he's got one ahead of that too. That's a name the episode.
Does he?
I think he just is having fun with that.
Name the episode.
I don't think it'll necessarily means it has anything to do with Strange New Worlds. But
okay, what's the other one here? Kevin Riley's Naked Time. I don't know who that is he's carrying. It doesn't look like Kevin Riley to me.
Oh, most people are saying Day of the Dove.
Day of the Dove? Okay.
But
I mean, Klingons?
Story? I mean, what's L'Rell's going to be in this series, obviously. Like absolutely, 100%. I would put whatever dollar amount of bet you want to make, L'Rell is going to be in this series.
I think it's quite possible
at some point, maybe if not first season, at some point.
But it is exciting. Like they're finishing out the first season. It's going to come out in 2022, and it's happening. All of these episodes are happening and going to come to us soon. Probably 50 episodes of stuff. So wow.
This makes me worried, though, for the Section 31's show. Like, I know that fans really, really reached out and reacted to Pike in season 2 of Discovery, but I mean, like, they had mentioned the Section 31 show even before season 2 of Discovery aired, and we've got nothing on that.
Well,
we've had now this show completely produced a first season at a time.
Well, I think what happened and where we are is that they were going to go ahead with that, but the response was such that they bumped Strange New Worlds ahead of it. And I think Alex Kurtzman said a couple months ago that they don't want to have more than 5 in production at one time. So when one of those, the feeling or the sense that I got is when one of those comes to whatever its natural end is, then you'll get Section 31. But yeah.
That's going to be Picard then.
Possibly. Maybe Picard only goes for 3 seasons. I don't know. But I know. And I'm rewatching season 3 of Discovery and the Terra Firma 2-parter, and I'm like, I want to know where she goes now, but I'm probably not going to find out for a couple years. But yeah, I know what you mean. I really want to see that, but it seems like it's not happening yet.
The primary reason I want to see that show is because of Erica Leopold and Kim.
They're great.
So with them being involved with it and what they brought to the series
I still feel like it's going to happen, but it may be a little while.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
So
anyway, wow, that was a lot to catch up on for news.
Okay, so are we done the episode now? Can we move on to our second episode then?
Yeah. Season 2 of Discovery is great. Oh, we have to pick some characters, don't we?
Actually, yeah, that's a good segue that we were talking about Strange New Worlds, see?
Yes. Okay, so now to our main discussion here. So the discussion for today is Discovery Season 2, favorite characters, continuing on our previously built upon. You guys did a great job there on Lower Decks. Thank you, Justin, and for being positive.
Oh, thanks. I tried my best. It was a struggle for a bit, but I was using your example of being positive for Discovery Season 1. But yeah. Okay.
So initial thoughts and first impressions here. Where do you want to go with that, Justin? What are your initial thoughts here?
Oh, I've recently rewatched Discovery Season 2. I really like that season and a lot of what happens. It was a little hard for me to pick, but I've got some on my list. Actually, it's funny, as I was rewatching, I might like Season 2 a bit more than 3, which is different than I felt at the end of Season 3. I just found myself really enjoying what was going on in Season 2.
Excellent. Chrissy, any initial thoughts here before we jump into it?
I did a rewatch ahead of Season 3. I have not since. But I'm hoping to do one soon in the course of forcing it upon my parents so that they'll be prepared for Strange New Worlds when it starts.
Awesome.
And I say forcing it upon, but they will want to see it.
They're
but
fans.
My dad did not like Season 1. Yeah. He watched the first 2 episodes and he was like, and then he didn't want to watch anymore.
I'd be interested to see what he thinks of Season 2, because it is quite different than first season, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'll do my best. I actually haven't watched any episodes of Discovery since the Vulcan Hello because they made me pay for it on Access. And I'm not going to pay for Star Trek.
Just really good at bullshitting. That's good.
Season 2, I really liked it, and I thought there was a lot of great episodes in it. And so, I mean, you might hear a name that's been on a list before, and you might hear a name that's pretty predictable. But I think I might get you with my third mention. So I'll save my surprise for my third mention. And that's my initial impression. So first round, Chrissy, let's go with you first. Who's your first pick?
Okay, so I do not have these in any particular order, for whatever reason. Right. So my first pick is Pike. It's gonna make it a little obvious, but he's so wonderful, and we're talking about somebody who played the character so well, and obviously, of course, it's written so well to be played that well, that, he created a new job for himself and everybody else who was involved in it. So, yay. Anson Mounts Pike. I think he really does represent the best of the fleet, like Cornwell says. He's got that heroic quality, but he's also got that very self-effacing, he's not out there going, oh, yay, me, which is pretty standard. You don't have a lot of Trek leads, the characters that are out there saying, oh, yay, me, I think I hesitate to say something like this, but I think Roddenberry would appreciate the way Mount plays Pike, because it is a very if you take what Pike was supposed to be and you read into that, you can very much see that with Anson Mount, and then he just adds that extra like layer to it, of what we never could have known. So, and Bruce Greenwood's great in Kelvin Timeline, but this is the Pike that's everybody's going to stand against. Even Jeffrey Hunter, he didn't get to play him as much as Anson Mount now has. So
yeah, well, this was for I think first on my list as well, but I'll bump something up so I can talk about 3. But I mean, the way Anson Mount plays Pike is wonderful. He's kind of the quintessential Star Trek captain and what you would want them to be about, and I think he continuously exhibits that in this season. And I think after I watched season 2 for the first time, I said, Pike is my favorite captain in Star Trek. He's amazing. I think that is still the case. I mean, and also getting...
Even more than Mackenzie Calhoun?
On screen, maybe I should say. But no, I'm not too big a fan of Calhoun. Sorry, New Frontier fans. But but yeah, I think it's great that Anson Mount gets to play him more than anyone else has played Pike. Because Jeffrey Hunter, I actually really like his depiction, but it's based on a very specific situation, a very specific place that he's at. But Anson Mount gets to play Pike through a variety of situations, a lot of different moods, a lot of different things to deal with. And he really rounds out the character and makes it so that I'm going to really love, following the Enterprise with Pike in command for a new show. I mean, not only because of the amount of time he's going to play the character, but I think because of how he plays it, he's the definitive Pike, and he's one of the most impressive things about that season.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pike was my first choice as well. It's
minds.
obvious, right? Like, he's awesome. He's an awesome character, and he really brought a lot to the season. And the character itself was written well. I mean, I think they missed an opportunity with him. Like, they were going for at the beginning that this guy was like a Christian character. And I mean, me being a Christian, I thought that would have been really interesting to bring to the show. That's the impression that I got out of the character right at the beginning. And I kind of wish they would have followed through with that more. But it's still neat that it's there in like the undertone of the character.
I just felt he was very aware of different religions, and that his father, did he teach comparative religions? I said something like that. Yeah, I thought that was
something
really cool.
like that, theology or comparative.
So he's very versed in all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's everybody gets to interpret things as they will, and so like my interpretation is like, okay, Pike is clearly a practicing Christian. Like, that's what I got out of the character when I was watching the season, But even still, like, getting into it, like, just the way that he was with talking to his subordinates, like the people under his command. Like, there's that scene with Burnham where he's like, okay, look, I know you have more to tell me, but I'm going to trust that you're going to tell me when I need to know. And that scene where he's like putting that faith in her is such a wonderful scene, and that really works with the character, And I think the other one too was when he was talking with Saru about the fight, letting the fight happen. And he's like, okay, that's kind of like between Tyler and Culber. And he's like, Saru's like, well, I kind of felt like that's what they needed to do. And he's like, okay, well, that's not really by the book, but okay.
What he recognizes,
I know there's just a lot of moments.
Yeah, he recognizes it's an unusual situation between these two people who are basically like not who they originally were, coming back from the dead. And Pike's like, okay, well, yeah, that's pretty unusual, so I'll let it slide, but don't do that again. So I really like those moments with him, and I think the character is really great, and I'm so looking forward to Strange New Worlds. Like, I'm super stoked. So that's the Star Trek I'm most excited for. I know I just said Prodigy, but I mean, now we're talking about Strange New Worlds. So now it's Strange New Worlds. That's the Star Trek I'm most excited for. So
I love it. I don't think your interpretation of him as a Christian is too far off, but I think it's probably more the philosophical than the practicing of the having to go to mass on a regular basis, that kind of thing. Because the philosophy really is coherent with everything else that's going on in Trek. caring for each other and love one another and all of that. Old school socialism from Palestine. So I don't think you're too far off. So it'll be interesting to see if they play with that at all, because we have not dealt with religion except the Bajorans, and I would like to see that too.
Not too much.
Yeah,
well,
not
and especially
deeply.
especially not for people that are in Starfleet. We've often dealt with it for other aliens or people who are non-Federation, but not as much for people who are in Starfleet. Cisco being an exception, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have not dealt with any Earth religions, any real religions that weren't written for not extensively.
Not really so much. Yeah. So that'd be interesting. Maybe we'll explore that in Strange New Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I would not count the Balance of Terror wedding as falling under the religious category.
I feel like that's a reference more than like an actual religious.
Yeah,
thing
or the
going
Christmas
on.
party reference. So
yeah,
Yeah.
they're glancing references. Yeah.
Yes. Anywho,
Cool.
Awesome. Okay, so Justin, let's get you to start us off on the second round.
Well, hold on a
No,
minute.
you didn't get your round one.
I'm the way that I'm doing this. Even if you pick my first one, I'm still going to pick another one so we can talk about
well
it.
then. Okay, so my first pick is Christopher Pike, so that's my first round.
Okay, we'll just do it differently.
Okay, so your first pick then, Justin.
Okay, so it's interesting. When I thought about this list, other than Pike, I came up with some that weren't main characters. Actually, they were all not main characters.
Good idea.
And one of the ones that really stuck with me is the character of Jacob from New Eden, because he is the one that has, on Terra Elysium, that has kind of had this thing that's passed down for what's happened for their culture, and he's hoping to find the other people that are out there and that Earth is actually okay, and he's very curious. He gets to explore that, and he gets to find out from Pike what's really going on. I know it's just in this one episode, and he's not like the main character in the episode, but there is something that feels really great about the character, what he's been through, what he believes in, how grateful he is for the information that Pike gives him, that really made an impression on me. And I had hoped that we would see him later on in Discovery season 2, which didn't happen, but maybe in Strange New Worlds. I really wanted to see more of that character and what happened with him after that. So take that as my first pick. What do you guys think?
I thought the whole culture on New Eden was really interesting. You know, like that was a really great episode, and I thought it brought a lot to the feel of the old Star Trek episodically. You know, and you know, it was an interesting idea that these were humans that have been uprooted from Earth and kind of built this culture there, right? And it was, again, in that episode is when we kind of found out about Pike Christianity, right? But they had like developed this religion based on all the religions of Earth, like because they weren't sure where the Red Angel had come from and whatnot. So
yeah, it's definitely the most episodic of season 2 of Discovery. Yeah,
and it does have that old Trek feel of you kind of find out they're not worshiping the Red Angel necessarily in that way, but you do find out that thing that they were focused on as part of their religion was not a god. Just as Kirk always talked the computer down, it was supposed to be the god or whatever,
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so then, Justin, now do you want to take us away with round 2?
No, I can't go. You go to Chrissie to start off round 2.
Oh, goodness gracious! Why am I even hosting this thing here? Chrissie, round 2, round 2. Here, I'll go.
Yeah,
round 2 first. Okay, so my round 2, shock above all, is Saru. So Saru's my choice. I don't know if you guys saw that coming. I don't know if you guys know I like Saru.
You do,
but
yeah.
This season, more than any other, so grateful that they got rid of the threat ganglia. But his character became, to me, even more interesting after the threat ganglia were gone. I love what we got out of the Sound of Thunder. Like, that's still probably my favorite episode of Discovery. I want to see more of the Baul. I want to see like an old short trek that's like dealing with the Baul, like back in the day beforehand. I think that'd be really fascinating. But just how calm the character became after this episode as well. was such a wonderful transition for him. And to me, that calm fits the character more than the fear fit the character. You know, I really like what Saru became after this. Like, he's an even better character, and I already loved him.
Yeah.
You know, so I saw a funny tweet the other day, and it was like a little puppy, and then right next to it was the wolf from, I think it was American Werewolf in London, the werewolf from American Werewolf in London, and underneath the cute dog, it said Doug Jones.
Oh yeah,
and then
I saw
underneath
that.
the werewolf, it's like the characters that Doug Jones is cast as, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
That's
which I thought was
perfect.
kind of funny because he always plays like monsters and stuff. But Saru, he really, really inhabits this character. Like this character was written for him specifically. You know, he's really embodied this character. And I love the changes.
And it's great that you mentioned that, because that calm, I think, is the essence of Doug Jones as a person, because I mean, I haven't met him in person, but from all the people I know that have met him, he's just like the sweetest person you will ever meet, you know? And not that like Saru as a character is that all the time, but there is something I think about the calming aspect that's closer to who Doug Jones actually is, which is really cool, because he is sometimes playing characters that you are a little afraid of, but I feel like Saru is somebody that I would want to know and be friends with. He just seems like a great person, you know, especially like you said, when he loses his fear and he can kind of really be himself. It's wonderful. He was definitely a favorite for me in season 2.
Definitely.
I think, Chrissy.
Saru's wonderful. I mean, that's not much more to say on that.
Okay.
But yeah, he's wonderful.
We said a lot last time too, so
That's true.
We did.
yes, he might be on my list next time. Spoilers.
Could be.
It's all right.
Justin, any additional thoughts on Saru?
No, I think Saru's great, and as I said, I've been watching Discovery from the beginning, and it is really great also as you push into season 3, just to see what happens with his character there, and I'm excited we'll see him in season 4, and I don't know what he'll be like, but I think it'll be great, whatever it is.
Yeah, I hope we don't see less of him in season 4 because he's off working with the Kelpians.
Well, in the trailer, I think there
We
is
won't.
a place where you see him on the bridge of Discovery in the back, so I think he will be more involved.
Yeah, he'll be there. Okay, Justin, character 2, round 2.
Round 2. Okay, so as I said, my other picks are pretty much people that aren't main characters but might appear a few times. So, you know, I actually am going to pick Poe. I really like this character. I mean, she was introduced in the short trek between seasons 1 and 2, the Tilly short trek, which I know isn't everyone's favorite, but I really like that one, and I like this idea of this person that that kind of is a great engineer, but at first seems almost like somebody that's really hard to understand to Tilly in that short trek. But they kind of get to know each other, and she's going to be the queen of this planet. And then you see her come back in season 2 when there's the signal near her home planet Zahia, and I just love that she's somebody that is confident without being arrogant and doesn't take any of Giorgio's nonsense in some of those scenes. She's just somebody I just really like. How she is in the world, where you see her in season 2, again, where she's competent, she's helping out, but she's not going to be pushed over by anyone else. So, what do you guys think?
I like her character a lot. The short trek is kind of strange because you get this shift from somebody who appears to be, well, no, you know what? It's not strange. She's afraid of taking on this position because she is so young, and even though she's been prepared for it, she is concerned that she may do something wrong, that she may do more harm than good, inadvertently, all of that, as being the leader of her people. So it does make sense that you have this momentary of, I'm going to run away from it, and then realize that is my responsibility. And then you add to that everything that she was able to contribute, dealing with the crystals and everything, and she's a great character, a lot more interesting and relevant than you might think just watching this short trek. So.
Yeah, and I think we'll keep saying this because these are all 23rd century characters, but I want to see her in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Even though it shouldn't be like a season of, hey, remember this person from season 2? I don't know. At some point, I'd like to see her again.
Well, there's no reason to think that Strange New Worlds won't go, 7 seasons like
that would
almost
be cool.
everybody else. So
that would be cool.
So I'm gonna mention and reference the Clone Wars again and the Bad Batch, okay? Because I really like what they're doing over there, But I mean, there was characters that were introduced in season 7 of the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That I don't remember their names. There's these 2 women sisters and whatnot, and they showed up in the Bad Batch, and there was no like, oh hey, we met all these wonderful characters in season 7 of the Clone Wars. They were just there, and so like the fans who've seen season 7 of Clone Wars know them,
right?
And the fans who haven't, they're just these 2 characters that are in this episode.
Yeah.
And so as somebody who's seen the Clone Wars, I really appreciated that they didn't do all those crazy callbacks that they normally do. Right? They just had them as characters inhabiting the universe, and they just showed up. And I thought it was wonderful. And so hopefully something like that could happen. Like they're just like, I don't know, Tyler's down on a mission or whatever, and he just shows up and there's Poe.
Yeah.
They've never met. They don't. We know who they are. They don't need to know who each other is. I don't know. Like just something like that would be like really, really fascinating if they did something like that. So
they did that with. There was a carryover from Mandalorian into Bad Batch too. So
yes. Yeah. So
No spoilers.
if you know who that character was, then that's great. And if there wasn't, then whatever. So
I think that approach would be good. Yeah.
I thought Poe was a good character. The only thing that I would say about the Poe plot line, which I haven't said, I guess I've kind of said before, is that I really think this is the kind of thing that's kind of frustrating about Discovery, is like they introduce this character who completely contradicts something that we already know about Star Trek with the recrystallization of dilithium, and then they write a season. We did talk about that, but then they write a season based around dilithium being this thing, and they don't even reference the fact that we've met a character who can recrystallize dilithium and like incorporate the world building that they've done to help solve a problem in the 32nd century or whatever it is. And it's like, why are you not calling back on the world building that you've done? Like, it's just weird, the things that they pick. And to me, that was a missed opportunity to not have that. So, yeah. I don't know.
I'll just say we've
not
talked
to
about
not
that.
have a Zahian up in season 3 was a missed opportunity. Is what I mean. So
maybe season 4. Okay.
Where are we, Chrissy? Did you do your second pick?
I have not yet.
Okay, let's go.
Not yet. I'm afraid we're going to be continuing to talk about Strange New Worlds because my second pick is Una.
Ah, nice.
Strange New Worlds! I'm so looking forward to that show.
I know this is Les' favorite Discovery characters, and
your first 2 picks are 2 of the main characters from Strange New Worlds.
I don't think my when I have to look.
You
at
even like Discovery?
Oh no, third round is not maybe show up, but only by virtue of timing.
No, it's cool. It's great. It's
like that. But yeah, I mean, so obviously Trek is not wanting for strong women characters at this point. Okay. But she was the original. And she was the one that Roddenberry went to bat for. And yes, because he was sleeping with Majel Barrett, whatever, fine. But
it doesn't matter. Yeah. Majel Barrett is great as an actor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The character is whether he created the character for her because of that or not is not as important as the fact that he made this a character who is not this retiring, scared, oh my God, protect me kind of woman. She's like, I'm in command. I'm taking care of what's going on. I rewrote the computer system because I don't like the way the replicators work. It's great. Yeah. I can't wait to see more of her. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, I love the character even when, all we had was basically from the cage. I think she's just a really great character that you want to see more of. And of course, she's been explored quite a bit in novels, but even in Discovery season 2, we just saw her a little bit in one of the earlier episodes, and then more in the 2-parter at the end. I think that was it. But
in the short trek.
And in the short treks, but yeah, I am super excited that we're going to explore this character as a main character, and I really hope that we do get, in that first season, at least one Una-focused episode where, she is the focus of it and important to whatever's going on, and we can learn more about her background and all that. So I love her in season 2, but I feel like that's just giving us a little taste of what's possible, and I'm just so glad we're going to see more of her for sure. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. I think she's great. And Rebecca Romaine, she's a great actress. She really embodies the role.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to, her eating more cheeseburgers.
Yep.
Right?
Sure.
So, it's nice to see a person eating some good, hearty food. So.
Yeah, I tolerate it as a vegetarian. No,
well, it's
fine.
a replicated cheeseburger, so you have to figure at that point.
That's true.
That's
true.
not real meat.
It's poop.
Yeah.
Right? As Admiral Vance told us, it's poop.
In the end, they're all molecules. It's just how you assemble them.
Yes, that's true.
So, but yeah, that would be.
I don't want to think about that.
That would be cool. Yeah. But, no, it's a great pick. I love Una. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. Okay, round 3, Justin. We'll start with you for round 3.
Okay, so a character that I picked that really made a big impression on me. So I know for season 1 I picked Michael Burnham, but this time I'm going to pick Gabrielle Burnham because I love her mom. I think when I was first watching Discovery season 2, it was definitely a surprise in that episode where her mom comes back, and I'm just like, wow, I did not expect that. But then you get to learn more about her and kind of what a good amount of time that she's spent with this Red Angel suit doing these missions, finding out there's this issue in the future she has to do something about. I just found, even though in season 2, basically she just gets, flung back into the future, and we only see her for a couple episodes, I think, there was just something that felt like I loved her kind of single-minded purpose for what she needed to do, but at the same time, she was able to show her daughter that she loved her and she was really, doing this for an important purpose. I just really liked the character a lot and how Sonia Son played the character. So what do you guys think?
I think that she's a great actress. I didn't really like that they brought her mom into it. I've talked about in the past how it, to me, is a red herring, and I know they've built on the character.
They're both the Red Angel. Come on, Brandon.
Yeah, that didn't work for me. Didn't work for me. So, but whatever. She's there. She's a character. She's fine. I don't hate the character. I think she's okay. So it's
sad face from me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chrissy, please balance the scales. No, what did you think of Gabrielle?
I ended up liking her. Okay. At the beginning, I didn't, because I felt like there was, I don't know, the conflict of Michael having thought that her mother was dead for so long and then finding out that she's not, but functionally speaking, she is, because they can't interact. And I don't know, I just felt like Gabrielle had these moments of, I was doing these things for you, and almost like she should have expected Michael to know when she had no reason to know that it was her mother. But then by the end of it, you can kind of follow through how things fell out, and then you can kind of understand why it seemed like she was talking that way. So I liked her in the end, but I had to warm up to her.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I have a completely positive her on season 3. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that's of course the interesting thing. Yeah. She gets to do something quite different in season 3, which I also really like. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's my third pick.
It's a good pick.
Okay. Chrissie, what is your third pick?
All right, third pick, Amanda again.
Ooh, all
and
right.
I picked her for season 1, but we get so much more of her in season 2, and we really see we see the ins and outs of some of the ins and outs of the relationship with Sarek, and you can kind of go, oh, I see why they're together, But also, she's not self-effacing. She's not diminishing what she thinks is right. She's using his credentials to go out there and find her son, and using the Coptric arcs to hide him and things like that. So she's perfectly willing and able to go against what Sarek wants to do or would want to do if he knew what was going on. But it's not... She does it with the idea of it being for the best. It's not malicious. They have conflict in their relationship, but it's not malicious, and I think that's good. And I would like to see more of the political background and what went on to make this politically logical, for lack of a better term, for Sarek to have married her. Because I'm going to put aside, I have to believe that Sarek would not just have fallen head over heels, and he wouldn't have allowed himself to do that if it hadn't been at least somewhat advantageous, for him otherwise, or his work otherwise. I
think being an ambassador that works with humans, it would be, logical to get to know humans better, right?
Right,
so
right.
That's what I've always thought.
Yeah, and I mean, he'd fulfilled his what's the word I'm looking for? He'd had his Vulcan child, with a Vulcan woman, so he'd accounted for
Cybok. Let's get Cybok in Strange New Worlds.
I wouldn't mind that.
I think so.
I think that would be.
Love that.
I would actually be really interesting. You could do something interesting with that character, but that's an aside.
The other thing is that I wonder. I hope we get to deal a little bit with how she feels about the Vulcan logic purist terrorist people, and if she feels any, I don't want to say responsibility, I don't want to say guilt, but it feels like maybe her presence exacerbated an existing issue, and explore that a little bit and see if, because I'm sure there are people on Vulcan who blame her. So, how does she feel about that? And what's the background of that movement prior to her showing up, if there is any?
That's a great point. Yeah, I really enjoyed Amanda in season 2 as well. And, you're right. We get to see a bit more of what her relationship with Sarek is like. But I also liked her relationship with Burnham and how she is trying to kind of do everything she can for Spock, and coming to see Burnham, and stealing the medical files, like all the stuff she's doing to really care for her children as best she can. And I definitely hope we see her in Strange New Worlds. I think it's more likely than Sarek because, well, at this point, Sarek isn't speaking to Spock, so, but Amanda is. I also noticed, Chrissie, all 3 of your picks were originally introduced in the original series, which is interesting.
Oh, I never thought of that. Very cool.
Yeah, whereas for Brad and I, we have at least a character or 2 that were introduced in Discovery. So that's very...
I have the honorable mentions that are Discovery specific.
But I think that's cool. I think they're... I mean, I know that originally when people knew that Discovery would be a prequel to TOS and would take place in the 23rd century, I know that, didn't like it or weren't sure what to make of it. But I'm actually really happy that we've gotten to explore so much in the 23rd century in this era. And I think there's a lot of great stuff that's come, and we have Strange New Worlds because of it. So in that sense, it was well worth it for that decision. So, but I think there's still a lot of great stuff to explore in that century. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought Amanda was great in season 2 as well, like just how she was fighting, for Spock and whatnot, and I don't know, I think that the actress that plays her is really good.
Yeah.
She's an interesting addition to the show, and we probably will see her in Strange New Worlds.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
At least in some kind of subspace call to Spock or something, right?
Yeah. We can see Sarek. They just can't have Spock and Sarek communicate, right? We can see Sarek in there.
Yeah, that's true. We can see him, but they can't talk, which is...
There's a wide range for him if we want to get Sarek involved in things that he can be on Earth, or he can be doing political stuff that he's dealing with Pike, maybe, but not Spock.
Yeah.
And actually, you have the opportunity there for Spock to actively refuse to see his father. So...
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Okay, so I'll go with my third pick here. So this is kind of my
So this is the one that you thought would be a surprise? Oh, I'm trying to think what it would be. It's Michael Burnham. No, it's not.
No, it's not Michael Burnham. It's definitely not Michael Burnham. But it is Owasekin.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So I love Owasekin as a character, and I loved her in season 1, and I love her in season 3. And I am glad that we got what we did in the backstory out of New Eden.
Yeah.
I just really wish we would have gotten more. But I thought her character was so fascinating and was such a strong character when she was down on that away mission. And it really brought her to the top of me. And I just ache for seeing more of her. And I mean, she won't be on my list for season 3. So I will say that, like, I said it during our coverage of it. I think that she should have died in that last episode of season 3 there, right? Like, as a character. Even as much as loving that character, that would have been a wonderful payoff for the character. And, you know, kind of thing. But, like some other deaths that happened in season 2, which we won't talk about. You know, so, like, that would have been a wonderful build-up, and that would have been a death that was very much earned on the show. But I just think she's such a great character. And we see so much of her throughout the 3 seasons. You know, like, I've said it multiple times. I think her and Detmer are in a relationship, right? I mean, like, that's something that I see on the screen every time they're together.
So, Brandon, when I've been rewatching, I've been watching for that, and I do think there is something. It seems like there's something there. There's certain, like, gestures and things they say or whatever that it seems like it. So that'd be cool if they actually talk about that in season 4.
Yeah. I wonder if that's something the actors decided on and they weren't told, the way that Andrew Robinson decided that he was just kind of going after Bashir.
Yeah.
You know, and to play it that way, and the writers did not direct him to do that, but it worked so well.
Yeah, it could be something like that. And I love Owasekin. And actually, one other thing. So Brandon, we talked about this when we talked about the Christopher L. Bennett book, Living Memory, because I don't think you've heard that episode yet, but.
No, I haven't listened.
Yeah.
I listened to Uno McCormick episode, but I haven't listened to that
one of the things I really loved about Living Memory is we actually get to go to Africa, which is a place that Chrissy and I were trying to see, like, have we ever even gone there in Star Trek? I don't think we have. So that's like a huge, you know, because on Earth we tend to go to just certain places, but...
Well, I mean, there was Code of Honor.
No, that's not even close to Earth. No.
But
just okay, yes.
I'm going to interrupt you now because I didn't think of this last time.
Something?
The short trek with the girl who
made the stars.
Made the stars. Thank you. Like, what's the rest of that sentence?
I mean, okay, yes. Yeah. In a story that took place a long time in the past, but you're right. There is. But what I would like to see, and Owasekin's character gives you this opportunity because we're told that, you know, I think she's in a place in Nigeria, and there was this Luddite collective and all of that. Like, let's go and visit, you know, her home and see what that's like. I would absolutely love that, because you're right. We did see that in that short trek, but it's very rare.
And I'm not saying that's. I'm not overriding what we said last time, but it just popped in my head now.
No, you're right about that. But anyway, I would love to see that and learn more about the character for sure. Yeah.
That'd be interesting to see if a Luddite collective or something similar still existed 1,000 years later.
I was going to say...
What does Luddite mean? What does it mean?
It just...
I think they're equivalent of Hutterites in Canada.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So they're Amish-y. And I don't mean that in a dismissive sense.
Generally not wanting to use modern technology. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought it was, yeah.
But wouldn't that be really something if she was, because now they're in the 32nd century, like, what is her home area like 900 plus years later? That would be really interesting.
And at what point do they say, okay, we're not going to go with modern technology, but we're going to just advance slightly? Maybe are they still kind of seemingly behind the times? And I don't mean that dismissively or insultingly, but
coincidentally,
have they moved forward a bit?
Coincidentally, now in the 32nd century, they have technology from 2021.
There you go. Yeah, actually.
I mean, does that include iPhones?
Yeah,
it could. That would be hilarious because, of course, it's
no holograms, only two-dimensional screens. Oh my god. Okay.
Anyway, but that's a great pick, Brad, and I really like that. Yeah.
I think I got an interesting one for season 3 too, but I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, all right.
For my one choice for season.
Tune in next week.
Can we give
so is
some
that it?
honorable
Everybody's done
mentions?
3 now?
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. Let me guess. Philip or Georgiou?
Let me see. No, not for season 2.
What?
No, I like Georgiou in season 2, but what I actually had on my list, I'm kind of surprised we didn't talk about him, but for me it's Spock. I really like Ethan Peck's Spock. I think he did a really great job. We could have seen him more in the season, but I think it's just it's kind of a nice portrayal for what they need to do in season 2 of Discovery and kind of where he's at this point. So I really like that. So that's one of my honorable mentions. I also wanted to bring in Tanavik, the Klingon played by Kenneth Mitchell at why am I not remembering the name of the planet? But anyway, with where the time crystals are. I just thought...
Is it Boreth?
Boreth, yeah.
Boreth?
I just thought that was a really cool character that they had dropped off as an infant, a few weeks before. But he was this really interesting kind of, thoughtful Klingon guy, wise man. I thought that was really interesting. So anyway, those are my honorable mentions.
Spock was on my honorable mention list too. Yeah. And then Linus.
Oh
yeah,
Linus would have been an honorable mention for me. So.
Yeah, I really like Linus. Although we do need to learn more about him because he tends to be a little bit of conversation here, a little comic relief there. But yeah, let's find out more.
Yeah, I mean he sneezes. Georgiou appears to be trying to sleep with him. That's season 3.
That's not till later though, really.
But that's in season 3.
Yeah, yeah. But I just say overall because we see him so little, it's hard to.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what's going on, but yeah. Linus is cool.
I want to find out about Saurian Brandy.
Yeah.
Saurian stuff.
Linus sneezing and Keenser sneezing is just nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
And dinosaurs and Trek, so yay.
Mm-hmm. Dinosaurian? Is that what that means?
What? He would be a dinosaurian.
So are they related to the people in Voyager? That
the
season 4 episode of Voyager?
Maybe.
Ooh.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I like that.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, well, that's our summary of season 2. And lots of news. That's our episode for the day. Oh, boy. Justin, where can people find you when you're not, getting stabbed in the eyeballs with your little needles from your machine?
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about Leland getting stabbed in the eyeballs. I know the eye violence, right? Even in Lower Decks they had eye violence.
Damn this show. Damn this show.
But
I'm going to add Control to my honorable mentions because I think we are going to see that as a character again. But okay, sorry.
I don't think so, but okay.
Isn't it dead? I think
it's gone. But anyway, so no, I'm not getting stabbed in the eye. I'm not Leland. But you can find me on Twitter, at TrekFan4747, where I tweet about nothing but Star Trek, and in our Facebook group, the Federation Council Chambers. Hope you'll join us there to talk about this episode.
Justin, I know I saw you saw the tweet, but are you sure nobody hacked your Twitter account the other day? Because
come on, I give a review to an early 80s TOS novel that really isn't good, and I say I didn't enjoy it, and you think that's out of character? Come on. You know those ones are hit and miss. So
I just loved how it brought out the bots. I mean, that was just beautiful. I know I tweeted that, but it was beautiful.
Maybe I can help you with your hacked account. And I'm just like, oh, jeez. I did laugh, though, because I do really love and enjoy most Star Trek novels, but there are a few that just... not good, unfortunately.
Oh, good. I'm glad I made you laugh.
You did. I saw that and I did laugh, yeah.
Chrissy, where can people find you when you're not providing wonderful counseling advice for the recently brought back to life Culber?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about. We talked about Cornwell in the season 1 episode, but she was great in season 2.
I'm surprised you didn't mention Cornwell.
I was thinking of her in my honorable mention, but we talked about her last time. So
yeah,
and her terrible death too. That was just not good.
Yeah.
I wish she hadn't died, but it's fine. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate being associated with so good a character. Okay. Right. So in addition to here, of course, you can find me on History with the Szilagys, the twice weekly history podcast here on the UFP network that I do with my partner, Jason. And I'm happy to chat about our shows in the Federation Council Chambers on Facebook. And I'm also on Twitter at The Goddess Livia, that's TheGoddessLivia, where I tweet about Star Trek history and leftist politics.
And as for me, when I'm not trying to one-up Michael Burnham and try and be better than her because I'm the science officer on the Enterprise and then I end up getting destroyed by an asteroid, you can find me on Twitter at Brandon Matella. You can find me here on the network with Infinite Diversity, which is No, that's this one here. Infinite Diversity is this one. Franchise Fatigue. That's my other show. Franchise Fatigue is all about movies, remakes, and sequels, and we're having a lot of fun doing the King Kong movies right now.
Those have been fun to listen to.
And, now that I've seen all the King Kong movies, I can definitely say I like King Kong much more than I like Godzilla.
Okay, I have no opinion on that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I liked the King Kong movies. This was a lot of fun to do. This was Zach's choice.
I'm just glad you didn't say you like King Kong more than Star Trek, because then I would be really worried.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I don't like King Kong more than I like Star Trek, yes. And then you can also find me on Good Evening, an Alfred Hitchcock podcast, which is all about Hitch's films in chronological order. And we are ramping up with the month of August. We are very busy. We've been recording over the past several months. We will be alternating between movies and the episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents where he directed. And we're basically releasing... those coverages only like 10 or 15 minutes long for those episodes, but we're basically releasing almost weekly between the first week of August and I think it's middle of January or the start of February or something like that. So we got a lot of stuff to cover and it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're going to be doing weekly episodes then too.
Like I said, most of these are recorded already, right?
Good.
So and they're all short, right? So we've been recording these over the past several months, leading up to these releases. So very excited to get the response out of people and to hear what they think. And I'm wearing my
Good Evening
shirt right now. We got our own shirt, and I guess that's it. I'm just doing 3 podcasts right now.
Only 3, yeah.
Only three. Here on the UFP Network, we got a whole bunch of different shows. I mentioned Franchise Fatigue. Amy Nelson and Patrick Devlin are joined by Ken Tripp to discuss All Good Things, which is covering all the older Star Trek. Rhea Papagiorgio, Kevin Scharf, Amy Nelson, and Joe Keegan have a TNG podcast called Galaxy Class. And Mickey's Marvels is our Disney and Marvel Universe podcast hosted by Chris Trabuzio, Patrick Devlin, and Casey Pettitt. Pettitt. He told me, he messaged me and said it's Pettitt. So Casey
sorry,
Pettitt. And they talk all things under the Disney umbrella. And then History with the Szilagys. It's a pretty good show.
It's a good show.
I like that. It's fun.
They take suggestions. You took my suggestion about Hatshepsut. Thank you.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We love suggestions. I've got quite a list now, so I can't guarantee it'll be soon, but please.
Yeah. And then we have an awesome new show called Sasquatch, which I've enjoyed listening to, which is all about Ken Tripp and Zach Moore are watching Sasquatch documentaries and stuff and discussing it and whether or not it helps or hurts the search for Bigfoot. And it's a lot of fun to listen to. And then we also have Always Hold On to Arrow, which is hosted by Lance Laster and Cavante Chillis. So that's all Arrow stuff. So thank you very much for tuning into Infinite Diversity. Thank you to our executive producers, Ken Tripp, Tony Robinson, and Zach Moore. Thank you to Zach Tripp for the wonderful theme music and Tony Robinson for the awesome show art. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts and please subscribe. Please give us a rating. We haven't had one in a while. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us on the network at Twitter, at UFP Earth, our show specifically at IDIC Podcast. You can email us, IDIC, infinitediversity@ufp.earth is our email address.
And we have an email.
What?
Yeah. You thought the episode was almost over, but if you've listened this far, and I hope the person who wrote this email will listen this far, we do have an email. Shall I read it?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So subject line is More Puns and an Intergalactic Imaginarium, which is a cool subject line. So this is from a listener, Vanessa Vaughan. who says, Dear Chrissie, Justin, and Brandon, first, I really enjoy the podcast. It is insightful, critical, and with the right amount of nerd moxie to satisfy my sci-fi spectrum of needs. The playful banter between you all is great. There is good chemistry here. If you add some clever puns, then we're talking. So we're going to have to, maybe in the next episode, work on some puns. We'll see.
Oh boy.
I don't know.
We'll see,
I'm
yeah.
not very punny.
Well, I mean, puns and dad jokes go hand in hand, so,
Okay.
I mean, I'll do my best.
All right. So Vanessa continues, what I like the most, though, is that you often disagree, and I find this refreshing in the world of Trek podcasts. I really appreciate insightful critique and debate, so I encourage you to keep this up. Oh, don't worry, we have.
That's not going anywhere.
We disagree about a lot of stuff, but I feel like, we do it respectfully. So she continues, I think it's so useful to hear many perspectives, even if we don't always share the same opinions. I would like to inspire Chrissie to refrain from apologizing. I get it, I'm a Canadian woman. Because you always raise thoughtful points and are never overbearing. I enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, you're Michigan, which is basically the 11th province, right? So
Yeah, and I was raised Catholic, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But, okay. Don't have to apologize.
I just thought up a pun. I thought up a pun.
Okay. Yeah.
Why is Chrissie mad at Justin?
Do I want to know? No, what is it?
Because Justin owes her money.
Oh. That's actually pretty good.
That
Very
is,
good.
I'll give you that. That's very good.
So there you go. We've got one already, Vanessa. So she continues. I enjoy, and this is about Chrissie, I enjoy hearing your historic connections in the history corner, and I think you balance the show with a sense of humor. As an artist, I also enjoy when Brandon brings in a film lens to the reviews and adds some commentary on direction, shots, music, etc. There you go.
Awesome.
This cinematic lens matters to some of us quite a bit. And I appreciate Justin's critical points of view, especially when you were discussing Lower Decks, because it is great to hear things I might not have considered as it relates to Trek and the kind of world we're accustomed to, as opposed to the comedy cartoon take that can deviate from this. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad, I'm glad because, I had some criticism. Okay, a little bit more in the email. So suggestions, more diversity of guests, could tackle some of the bigger ideas and philosophy of Trek, discuss favorite storylines or arcs, what's working with the different shows and what isn't, a costume and makeup episode, ethics of Trek episodes. She says, read some Nick Bostrom for fun. And closes out saying, thanks for a great show. It has been nice during the pandemic to listen to you all. It's helped during some tough times. I wish you all the best. So thank you, Vanessa, for taking the time to write that really thoughtful email.
What a nice email.
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate it with all the things you like about the show and suggestions that we need to take some time to think about. But really appreciate that a lot, and thank you for sending that to us and for listening. We just really appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, all you American listeners, we just had an email from Canada, okay? And the United States has 10 times the population, so I expect
10 emails from the US?
American emails, okay? Come on.
Reasonable. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
10 emails out of 350
I don't know.
million
By
people.
that metric, we should get 30 emails from India.
Do it.
Well,
I don't know if we have
we'll take that too.
30 times the listeners, though. I don't think we have that. So.
I think Trek is probably more popular in the U.S. and Canada. But anyway, yes, we love to get emails, and if we get your permission, we definitely read them on the show. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, on the next episode, we'll be talking about our favorite characters for Season 3 of Discovery, and until then, peace and long life.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.